People of the world, you're practicing guitar wrong. I'm disappointed in myself. It's because of the title of this video. You're practicing guitar wrong. I am going to discuss 5 excruciatingly common practice mistakes that almost every guitarist makes. But I just don't like how negative and cliche and fear-based this title sounds. You're practicing guitar wrong. I don't know you. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing right or wrong. People of the world, friends and relatives, my name is Stuart Alexander Lehman-brown. I'm not sure if you knew this, but practicing is a very important part of playing guitar. Everybody does that. You don't get better at guitar when you watch one of these videos. You get better at guitar when you play the same thing over and over again, like 200 times in a row. It's not a joke. That is truth. I'm speaking my truth to you at this time. People of the world, friends, relatives, I'm saying that so much. I just am not happy in general. I'm a happy person on a scale from 1 to 10. In the comments, are you a happy person on a scale from 1 to 10? I'm not asking for a ranking. I'm just saying yes or no. On a scale from 1 to 10, are you a happy person? So basically what I'm trying to say is you don't just want to focus on techniques and songs and chords and stuff. You actually do want to make sure that your overall approach to practicing is effective. So let's go over the 5 common practice mistakes. How do I know that these are common mistakes? Well, I'll tell you. There's 2 reasons. One, because I made all these mistakes commonly. And then as soon as I kind of overcame these problems, my practice got a lot better, probably. I have no quantifiable data that states that. But the main reason is because I have literally, truly, honestly taught truly hundreds, probably over 500 different guitar students. And they basically all make these mistakes. Again, I have no quantifiable data about this. I have no quantitatable data about this. I have no data whatsoever. Honestly, I've never kept track of anything in my entire life. That's shockingly true. Practice mistake number 1. Always starting at the beginning of the song. It's human nature. You start at the beginning. Let's start at the very beginning. A very good place to start. It's right there in a song from Sound of Music. But if you always start at the beginning of a song, you're going to get really good at the very beginning. And you're barely even going to know how to play the bridge. Here's what I would like you to do. When you first sit down to learn a song, start anywhere you want. I don't care. But once you're starting to okay, I've got that beginning part of the song figured out, then it's Tuesday afternoon. You haven't touched your guitar in 2 days. You go into your room, you grab your guitar, you go, I'm going to practice that new song that I've been practicing. Don't start at the beginning. Start at the chorus, start at the bridge, start anywhere but the beginning. Actually, what you probably should do is start at the hardest part of the song, the part of the song that you need the most work on. But just at the very least, just don't always start at the beginning. Can I tell you a quick story? There was a human being named Phil Matson. He was a choir director, and he was one of the most terrifying human beings who was ever part of my life. He was so scary. He was just very serious, and he was very intense, and he was very talented, and he was nice to me, but I just wanted to cry every time I was around him. But he's dead now, so that's too bad, right? Guys, let's just take a moment of silence for Phil Matson. This is so disrespectful. No, a moment of silence is respectful. Here we go, moment of silence. That was so hard for me to do. People of the world, friends and relatives, I'm talking about the dead human being, Phil Matson, acclaimed choir director and arranger and music educator. He did something very interesting. When he would have a brand new choir and they would get up on the risers and they're going to practice a new song, and none of the members of the choir have ever sung this song before. And he would go, all right, everyone pull out the song It's Wonderful by George and Ira Gershwin, and everyone would pull out their music. It's like a big 11-page thing, and he would go, all right, turn to page 8, measure 62. It was like 2/3 of the way through the song no one had even heard this song yet. We didn't start at the beginning. He went straight to the part that he wanted to make sure to get extra time to practice and the way he thought would be a good way to start the song. Every single rehearsal he did that. He never started at the beginning of the song unless we were doing a full run through. And guess what? Pretty sure he won Grammys. I don't know. Maybe. But like I said, he's passed away, unfortunately. So this doesn't give you eternal life. I don't know what point I'm trying to make from that. Don't always start at the beginning of a song. People of the world, practice mistake number 2. Always practice sitting down. We all do this. We all practice 99.9% of the time sitting down. But then when it comes time to perform, we're usually standing up, especially if you're playing with a band. Here's what I'm going to recommend. I'm going to insist this, because if you spend all your time practicing sitting down and then you go to perform standing up, it feels completely different. The guitar feels different in your hands. It's just all of a sudden you have to think about how you're going to move. There's so many more things you have to do. So I would advise you to, when you are practicing with a band, stand up at least 50% of the time, if not more. When you're practicing by yourself, try to stand up at least 10% of the time. I used to say 25% of the time, but that's just not realistic. I don't do that. Practice playing while standing, especially if that's how you're going to be performing. It makes a massive difference. Common practice mistake that every guitarist might make. Number 3, spending too much time practicing exercises. Exercises and warm-ups are great. They just focus in on specific skills, specific purposes. But exercises are not making music. That's not entirely true. A lot of exercises are very, very musical, but they do not directly translate into the music that you ultimately want to play on guitar. I recommend cutting out a slice of your practice time for exercises, but put the majority of the time into playing songs. But wait, I have a little compromise. This is what I do. I'm learning a song, right? I'm playing a song. Maybe it's a song that I just want to play. Maybe it's a really challenging song and to improve my skills. When I get to a tough part of the song, let's say it has a triple hammer-on or something, and I'm like, man, I'm not good at triple hammer-ons. I need to practice this. Let me go find some exercises for triple hammer-ons. Well, you could do that, but how about you just take that little part of the song with the triple hammer-on, whatever the hard part of the song is, I'm not talking about the entire chorus. I'm talking about the little 2-second part, and you just use that little part as your exercise. Use difficult parts of songs as your exercises. That way, you are practicing the technique that you want to improve on and learning a song at the same time. Can I tell you, this is like practice mistake 3B or something. It's like the sub practice mistake. This one, I might get some hate for this, but I feel very strongly about this. Whenever you listen to a pro jazz musician, or you're in a very serious method book, they almost always tell you to make sure to practice everything in all 12 keys. So if you're playing something in one key, make sure you play it in every other key. You're learning it in the key of E, but make sure to play it in the key of C sharp. If you had magic genie powers and you could wish that you could play everything in all 12 keys, that would be great. But they're okay, do you guys look at this? Can I show you something? You guys have all heard something like this before. 1, 2, 3, 4. A little bluegrass lick. I played it in the key of G. Now, I might want to practice in the key of C, maybe in the key of D, but I'm not playing this bluegrass lick in the key of A flat, because no one ever plays something like that in the key of A flat. Or if you are playing it in A flat, you'll just take one of your many capos that you have, and you'll put a capo on the first fret. I'm getting off track. I personally do not like playing things in all 12 keys if I see no purpose for it. If I know I'm never gonna play something in the key of B flat, then I'm not gonna waste my time practicing it in the key of B flat. And I wish you would tell me to get a load of this. That's not what I meant to say. Common practice mistake number 4, not tuning before you practice. You might be thinking, I'm just practicing. It doesn't matter if I'm in tune or out of tune. It's annoying tuning. I don't want to waste my time doing that. I just want to practice this. I'll tune some other time. I hear you, but there's a few things going on here. 3 things in particular. Thing number 1, you just want to practice tuning. You want to get good at tuning your guitar. Uncle Stuart, I'm already great at tuning my guitar. Well, you're not, so, okay. Then, thing number 2, you don't just want to practice where your fingers go. Anytime you practice, you're also practicing your ear skills. You are training your ears every time you practice. It would be best interest of yours to me, says I, if you are in tune so that you train your ears to hear everything in tune. You don't want to train your ears to not care if things are in tune or not. There are so many reasons I can't even get or direct them. But that's thing number 2. Thing number 3 is a little bit just kind of shallow. But what if people hear you practice and you're out of tune and so they think you suck even though you're actually good? Just tune so that you sound good even when you're practicing. We have one more tip, and then I have I think I had one more other thing I wanted to say. It's not really a 6th tip, doesn't matter. Tip number 5 of common practice mistakes. The biggest practice mistake, but this is also the one that's going to be the most ignored by all of you. The biggest practice mistake is not recording yourself and listening back when you practice. When you practice, a lot of the time you're going to be zoning out. A lot of the time you're not going to notice what's going wrong. You're going to be focusing on one aspect of your playing and ignoring another aspect of your playing. It's just how it goes. That's just the nature of music and humans. If you take your phone and or whatever, I don't care. I use how does this work? What I do to record is I just get the Voice Memos app and I hit record and then I practice and then I listen back to it. That's how recording works, just in case you weren't sure. And it does 2 things. 1, as soon as I hit record, I get a little bit nervous. Not like super nervous, but just like, okay. And then I mess up way more and it's really demoralizing and I hate it. But that's what it's going to feel like when you're performing or recording for an album or something anyway, so you might as well get used to it so you can get better at performing when there's a little bit of pressure. Then, of course, obviously, you press play and you listen back to it, and it really just gives you that really good feedback about how your progress is coming along. You're not going to want to do this. It's annoying to get out your phone and set it up. It's annoying to try to record it 5 times in a row until you get a halfway decent take. I said 5 times in a row. I meant to say 100 times in a row until you get a halfway decent take. And then the worst of all is listening back to it. If you know it's bad, listening back to it is painful. If you think it's pretty good, listening back to it might be even worse because then you realize it's not good at all and you have no talent and you're wasting your time. Be patient with yourself, okay? For an example, I have not gotten on the scale in 3 weeks, and I'm getting on the scale this Friday, and it's going to be bad news, and I'm depressed about it, but that's just life. And also, the scale is just a number. It doesn't say anything about who I am as a person. I just don't want to do it, and I wish that you wouldn't make me. Okay. I had something else I wanted to say. Oh, I remember what it is. So we're done with the common practice mistakes. Now I'm just going to tell you something about myself. I sounded pretty passionate about these 5 common practice mistakes, right? Hi. Even though I am passionate about these, and I think that following these guidelines is going to be your clearest road straight to guitar proficiency. That being said, I ignore all of these all the time. I never practice standing up. I mean, like, okay, no, that's not true. When I was performing regularly, I did make sure to practice standing up all the time, and it made a huge difference. But now, I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered to stand up. Are you kidding me? What's another thing? I record myself, like, twice a week. I'll record myself. And I know, like, I'm saying that, like, I barely do it at all. And you're like, Uncle Stuart, I have tried to record myself, and I do it once a month. So when you say twice a week, it just makes me feel bad. I understand. I'm sorry about that. I take it back. What else? I do always tune before I practice. I don't know. I guess I do follow these things. I don't know. I was trying to be humble and connect to the people, but I don't know how to do it. So all I'm trying to say is you're probably making tons of mistakes that you don't even know about, and it's just it's keeping you from being good at anything in your life. Yeah, I'm teasing you. I'm giving you a hard time. It's probably true, but that's fine. I still love you. Love you. I love you. I love you.